off in outer space. There are heroes engaged in a desperate race to the home world and slither through the stars they slog, all to rescue their best friend Bazooka Dog. It's a haunted pizza comic full of action and passion. It's the ultimate tale of U.S. Assassin, the ultimate tale of U.S. Assassin.
I was sitting all alone in my library chair when I found a book and it gave me a scare. The pages I kept turning, it quite took me in. What was it? Oh, where do I begin? We read the monsters. I read the monsters next door. The monsters. It had short stories galore. The monsters. It's full of horror and gore. The monsters. I read the monsters next door.
It's a Critical Blast podcast.
It's me.
With our special guest, Mark Poulton.
That's him. And yes, we have Mr. Mark Poulton with us tonight. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. I hope the sounds are not as stuttering to everyone in the audience as they are in my headphones, because they seem to stop and go. And I think that's just a headphone issue.
Sounds great on my end. What was that U.S. Assassin song I heard at the beginning?
that was the U.S. Assassin song. I thought you knew all about that. It's your thing, right?
Yeah.
I've been on a new kick where I try to give everybody their own individual start of the show.
That was incredible.
Well, I'm glad you appreciated it. It's just. I just write something out and then I let the system take care of the rest of it until I get something I like. Man, it's four issues of U.S. Assassin now. This is or is it more?
Well, we've had a couple one shots, but yeah, 4 volumes. over Mike McMahon has drawn all 4 volumes, over 240 pages of U.S. Assassin he's drawn. That's quite an accomplishment, I think.
It is. I mean, you kept the same creative team throughout this long. I remember, what was it, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when you had the first one, because I was like, the most creative I could get then was to copy your logo and throw G.I. Joe stripes across the back of this. Like, hey, that's what I'll do. I've grown as an individual, I guess. So is this the end of the line for U.S. Assassin? Is this where it's all been leading to?
No, I mean, I would love to keep doing U.S. Assassin. This is definitely the biggest adventure. I guess you'll have to tune in and check out the story to see if they survive this huge mission. But this is what the series has been. Well, the series was building up to the U.S. Assassin team, which we slowly built to. We started introducing, some of the supporting cast at the end of Volume 1. We got to know them more and got to know U.S. Assassin's backstory in Volume 2. 3 is when the team started coming together, and right at the end of 3, we teased, there's not just the 5 core members. There's also this whole base of operations, and now they have their first huge mission, too big to be contained in this world. They have to blast off into space because they're maybe most popular team member, Bazooka Dog, has been abducted, and they have to travel to space to save him.
Okay, so Lindsey Buckingham's love child. No.
He's been saying that for years.
He had a dream that you were born in the eye of a storm. There's a deep cut. So U.S. Assassin is like an individual, but also the name of the team, just sort of like the G.I. Joe's the team, but it was named after a guy.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so when are the action figures coming? Because we're ready.
So I have prototypes. Unfortunately, I don't have them downstairs with me, but I would love to launch the action figure line maybe this year. We'll see. But the prototypes are incredible. We have figures of U.S. Assassin, the mercenary, Bazooka Dog, and Raider, the search and rescue dog. So it's something I have my eyes on. I want to do it. I got to make sure everything lines up.
So one of the things I've noticed is there's a lot of dogs in the U.S. Assassin team, including a very humanoid-like dog. What's with that? You running a dog rescue?
I'm a dog guy. I have 2 dogs of my own. So officially on the team, there's Bazooka Dog and there's Raider. Sea Dog and Viking Wolf are guest stars to fit that Dogs of War, subtitle we have. But so the toy company I'm working with, they were like, if you have 1 dog, you might as well have 2 dogs on the team to get the most out of these molds that we're making. And I was like, you don't have to twist my arm.
It's just a repaint at this point. And I'm sure they have accessories that would fit them both anyway.
Yeah.
So I was half joking about the toy line because G.I. Joe was a huge toy line, but you're serious. You're pursuing this.
Yeah. I've been pursuing like the 6-inch figures for about a year. We have our prototypes made. But I've also, I don't know, recently I got the itch to do 12-inch figures as well, like the old school Joes. So part of this campaign, we're working with Power Comics Group for a variant cover for their book.
Austin's a great guy to work with.
Yeah. Super Joe Unlimited. And that was the 70s G.I. Joe toy line. After Action Team, or Venture Team, I'm sorry, they did the Super Joe line. And Austin got the license to that. And I saw the Kickstarter and I reached out to him. I was like, is there any way, we could work together and I could get a variant cover? I'd love to, have a cover with U.S. Assassin and Bazooka Dog interacting with the Super Joe team. And he loved the idea. So since then, I've picked up some of the Super Joe figures and I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind having some U.S. Assassin 12-inch figures.
Now, is that when they introduced the Kung Fu grip, or was that still with just the regular GI Joe?
No, I believe the 12-inch had the Kung Fu grip as well. At least with the Super Joe team.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're showing our age talking about 12-inch GI Joes because everybody else grew up with the cartoon figures
The
that were
3
like
and
3
3/4.
inches.
Yeah.
You don't know how emasculated we've been since the 70s, children. We were 12 inches, and not only was mine 12 inches, it was fuzzy. It had the beard and the hair. Come on, what are you guys laughing at? But yeah, mine had like that brown felt on the chin and on the head. Like it was like no other figure out there, because every other one had like plastic molded hair. This was like, this Joe needs a shave. He had the fatigues, and he had the bigger weapons because it was a bigger doll. It would hold that little gun. But have you found anybody who's doing that? Because
so I reached out to a company. I'm waiting to get the quote back.
I can't even imagine doing toys. I mean, I've watched this indie comics online community go from making T-shirts and posters to now, I expect cold cast porcelain statues in the next 3 years. People, come on, just go full bore into it. We are talking about, of course, U.S. Assassin Volume 4, Dogs of War, and the link that you'll want to follow is right below the video screen you're looking at right now. It will take you to a new window. It won't close this one. You'll still hear everything. And that window will take you to Fund My Comic, which is this the first time you've jumped over to Fund My Comic for funding?
No, I've done. My first time with Fund My Comic was Writhe in Pain, but I had that going on at the same time as Indiegogo. I decided just to do Fund My Comic for now with U.S. Assassin. Maybe eventually I'll put it up on Indiegogo as well, but this is the only place to get it for now.
Okay, and it's doing fairly well there. I mean, I'd like to see it make 5 figures, maybe even 6.
Yeah,
we do that. But for 9 days, almost $5,000 is pretty darn good. You are obviously pretty confident, and you're going to make it. You've got $100 goal.
Yeah, I mean, I fund a lot of my comics in advance, and then I hope to make the money back when we do these crowdfunders.
Oh, that's right. G.I. Joe had the Jeep. Oh, yes. They brought the Jeep back for the Barbie commercial. It wasn't even a G.I. Joe or a Barbie commercial, but that's all I remember was G.I. Joe and Barbie in it. So looking at what's going to be happening in this campaign, I've got lots of questions.
Sure.
But one big one. How'd you get Roddy Piper in here?
So
posthumously.
Yeah. So maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there was a Roddy Piper comic book, The Killed-It Avenger. And it was a crowdfunded book. I backed it. I became a huge supporter of it. Roddy Piper is my childhood hero. I've always been a wrestling fan. And when Hulkamania was the biggest thing around, I didn't like Hulkamania. I liked the bad guy that was trying to end Hulkamania. I loved Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to the artist of the Roddy Piper book. I had done a pinup for their book that they ended up using as their back cover. And I don't know. I asked them a question. I was like, hey, is it possible, that maybe I could use Roddy Piper in a volume of U.S. Assassin? And the artist Eric Hodson said, I don't see why not. I'll introduce you to his family, his estate. And I pitched the idea to Roddy's wife, Kitty. She loved the story. She loved the idea of Roddy joining the team for a mission to rescue Bazooka Dog. And I got the license to use Roddy Piper in U.S. Assassin.
That's fantastic. So the legend will continue to live on in comics.
Yeah.
If not in movies. Is he gonna? You're not gonna trot out the old line about chewing bubble gum, are you? Everybody uses that.
Well, maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. It's got to be used. Nicholas Gear said Hulkamania is still running wild. I'll tell you. I have a very very narrow section of my life where I enjoyed watching wrestling.
Yeah.
I was like, for a long time, I knew it existed, didn't care about it. I grew up in St. Louis where they were like wrestling at the Chase. So it was every Saturday local. Dick the Bruiser, Junkyard Dog, Ric Flair would come into town. But the era I remember most was when the only time I had pay-per-view for wrestling, I said, okay, fine, we'll pay-per-view for the wrestling. We'll watch it. My wife at the time was like really into it. She'd grown up with it. And it was the episode where Hulk Hogan went after the NWO and chased him to the edge of the stage and then turned around and ripped his Hulkamania shirt on and put on an NWO shirt. And everyone was like, oh my God, what just happened? And you could tell that people were really into that story.
When Hulk Hogan turned bad and joined the NWO, the fans throwing trash into the ring, they were so upset. That was the first time I loved Hulk Hogan. I was like, yes, this is great.
Yeah, and as upset as they were, they kept coming back.
Yeah,
because they had to see what was going to happen next. And I kind of just stuck with watching it and following the story up until the point when there was only one wrestling agency. When Vince McMahon was simulcast on two different channels at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it'd be the same. It's the Wolfpack and NWO for life. I remember all that. I kind of remember the other wrestling company. What was it? WCW trying to replace Diesel and Razor Ramon with lookalikes because they still had the license for the names. They couldn't. Yeah. They didn't want to let them go. That was like, that's just sad, guys. Come on. But it puts me in mind of and I'm going somewhere with this.
Yeah.
At the same time, I had my N64 system. I still have my N64 system. My son plays it. And we had all the WWE wrestling game cartridges.
Yeah.
So you had these characters that were digitized and they were fighting. And you can see where I'm going because now you can, you're seeing other people digitize indie comics characters and throw them into games and matches and such because there are wrestling cartridges out there where you can skin
customize
your characters.
Yeah.
So you can make them so distinct that they look like your characters. Is there any thought of a U.S. Assassins kind of fighter game like that?
That would be cool. We were approached for U.S. Assassin to be in a video game with some other characters like Cyberfrog. I forget who else. Cecil from Cash Grab was in it. And it was cool. We saw the 3D model of U.S. Assassin. Unfortunately, they went the crowdfunding route and it didn't get funded. The maker said he was going to retool it and give it another stab eventually. But yeah, I would love to do U.S. Assassin. Maybe not a fighting game, but maybe like a side scroller. That would be a lot of fun, I think. Yeah.
Because side scrollers are a lot of fun. I like first person shooters, but honestly, once I played Wolfenstein, they were all the same after that. So I didn't really care anymore. But my side scrollers were always my favorite. Again, had a whole laundry basket full of these plug and plays because my son was just collecting them right and left. We were getting them at thrift stores. And he had Spider-Man and Batman side-scroller games. And I was like, these are a lot of fun. We never did. They were challenging enough that we never did get to the end of any of them.
Yeah.
So, which is a sign of a good game, I think. Although I did have to convince him that, in my day, there was no end to the game. The end of the game was when you died. It was futility encapsulated. 1 quarter, play until you die, but you will die. So let's look at the campaign here and see what people are getting, because your highlighted reward is the 4-pack, which is $100 plus shipping. But for that, you're going to get what?
So there's 2 covers to U.S. Assassin Volume 4. There's the cover A, which is Mike McMahon. And then there's cover B, which is a Virgin wraparound cover by Sedna Khan, who worked on Supreme in the 90s, also worked on X-Men. He told me his first, he was excited to do this cover. It was the first team shot he's done since working on the X-Men in the 90s. So very cool cover. It's got all our stars, Roddy Piper, the Mercenary, US Assassin, Sea Dog, Viking Wolf, and Bazooka Dog.
Yeah, it's got a US Assassin being right down the spine, so he's going to be on both sides of the book.
Yeah. And besides those 2 books, we're also offering 2 other books in that 4-pack. We're offering War Stories, which is a digest size collected edition of the first 3 volumes. So that's 180 pages, full color. So if you're new to US Assassin, it's a great book to have. It gives you all the previous volumes. And then we're also offering US Assassin, The Art of Mike McMahon, 48-page hardcover. Mike's drawn, I've already said, 240 pages of the series. There's a lot to choose from, but not just from the book. He's done promotional artwork, commissions of US Assassin. So there's a lot of pieces people probably have never seen before.
So, okay, so this is a heck of a deal then, guys, because you're getting that hardcover book here. Basically, look at $25 per book, which is, first of all, a deal for crowdfunding anyway, because that's what you're going to pay per book. Yeah. But when one of those books is a hardcover and the other is I'm guessing manga sized, or is it slightly smaller, like pocketbook?
Manga side, yep.
Okay. And then the wraparound cover deals all the way around. So if you get it all, guys. So is this the? I know I said, is this the end of the road, but is this the end of the adventure of rescuing Bazooka Dog, or is there another chapter after this?
This will be the conclusion of the search for Bazooka Dog. But like every US Assassin stories, it usually spills into teases the next adventure.
Sure, gotta keep them coming back for more. Now here's an interior shot, I believe. With Mike's artwork, or here, the Kilted Avenger. Is he still the Kilted Avenger, or is he just Roddy Piper?
Yep, he's the Kilted Avenger, Roddy Piper. Yep.
Okay. And then just more of this action. This is 90s indie action right here. The off-angle panels, the explosions, the speed lines in the background. Yeah, this is. You could throw this book into a time machine and drop it off in 1992, and nobody would blink an eye at it as saying, "Wow, this is futuristic." It would fit right in.
Yeah, the 90s books were books, Mike and I were inspired by. That's when I think we've both realized, hey, we want to make comic books for a living.
We can go back and fix that, but no. I'm kidding. So who's this big green guy with the snakes coming out of his mouth?
That his name's Slither. He started out as a villain in the series. He's actually created by my son. When my son was 6 or 7, he drew this giant reptilian monster with 3 snakes for a tongue. He drew him, and I hung him up in my office. I took a picture of him and I posted it on Facebook, and Mike saw the character, and Mike had just started doing sketches for US Assassins, because I pitched it to him, and he was like, hey, he should be in the book. He should be a villain. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. So I incorporated Slither into the story, and we both loved him. And we're like, eventually we got to redeem this guy and get him part of the team, because he's so fun to have in the book.
So has that happened yet? I mean, is he a
yep,
redeemed villain?
He's a full member of the US Assassin team. He joined the team with Volume 3.
Okay. But it's his planet where Bazooka Dog is.
Yeah. So we'll get the origin of Slither in this volume as well. His origin, his story has been a bit of a mystery until now. So that'll finally get resolved, where he's from, how he ended up on Earth. If you're a fan of Slither, it's a must-have book as well. In this panel, he's teamed up with the Mercenary, Flip Gordon, who is he's like the Sergeant Slaughter of our team. He's the actual real life member. Flip Gordon wrestles for CMLL in Mexico.
Okay.
And when Mike and I we took this GI Joe direction with the book, I was like, we need our Sergeant Slaughter. We need a real life person to be part of the team. And being a huge wrestling fan, I knew Flip was doing this mercenary gimmick, and I thought the gas mask and the spiked vest would fit in perfectly with our other cast of characters. So I reached out to him, DM'd him on Facebook thinking he'd never respond, and he responded within an hour and was like, yes, this is definitely something I want to do. So he's been great to work with.
There's so many wrestlers are comic book fans. And if you don't believe me, guys, get out your price guide and, again, go look for any wrestler's name in the 90s. Everybody had their own comic book.
Yeah.
The Undertaker wasn't the Undertaker over at Chaos Comics?
Yeah. Undertaker, Mankind. Yeah, they both had Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think, even had a comic book with Chaos.
Yeah, it was weird. What Christopher Bouchard says he's already backed. So
thank you, Christopher.
Glad that you're on board with it. Should I dare refresh the screen? I would love to see something.
I think Christopher backed previously. So
okay. Well, that's okay. You know, first of all, Christopher, you can back again. But second of all, everybody else out there should get involved. I like that you had a $100 goal because it makes the numbers the same. If I get my eyes crossed, it doesn't really matter. I can say either one and it's good. What? You got an estimated shipping date of October 10th, 2024. This year just started. God, it's been going on forever already. So how far into the penciling of the book are you? I mean, these pages look pretty done. These are I'm assuming current.
Yep. Mike is more than halfway done the book. When I do my estimated shipping, I come up with a date and then I add a couple months to it, just to be conservative. I don't know why. I feel like most people should do that. It's better to be early than be late.
Yeah. Why cut it to the wire and give yourself such tension, when you can say October easily. And then when you do it in August, they're like, oh, wow, wasn't expecting that.
Plus, you never know what delays could pop up. So I feel like October is a good conservative number. I think we'll beat that. But yeah.
I mean, it's October in an election year, folks. There will be a crisis that will slow everything down and shut it all off. So yeah, good to plan for as much time as possible. Now this character here, I know he's the bad guy. This is Siberia.
Well, the Cold War is over. So we introduced some new characters to plenty of new characters, but two of them are USSR Assassin and his sidekick, Siberia, the Cyborg Bear, spelled Cybear IA. I thought that was pretty clever, but my son, he groaned when I when I told him.
That's such a dad joke.
He said, just because you have an idea, Dad, doesn't make it good. And I was like, are you kidding? I love this.
I love it that it's USSR Assassin.
Yeah. Well, if there's a world where there's US Assassin, I would think there'd have to be a USSR Assassin.
Yeah, I can't imagine what else he would be as a killer. The USS Arsonist, I don't know. You get that R good thing going. Now that's your flamethrower guy. You run with that. Go with God. It's yours. There's so many characters. This is Bazooka Dog, right?
Yep. Mike, I believe Mike came up with the phrase, he's the Swiss Army knife of pets. So yeah, he can transform into a Gatling gun. He can turn into a sky glider, whatever is needed for the mission. He can do it. He doesn't just have a giant bazooka on his back. He's multifunctional.
Not to take away from his individuality, but he reminds me of one of my favorite characters growing up, Dino Mutt.
Oh yeah,
you remember Dino Mutt
and
Blue Falcon?
Yeah,
and it was like he was the Inspector Gadget of dogs. He would just pop out anything from his robot body. So So it's I do love that. So this is the other book that is on this campaign, folks. This is the U.S. Assassin: The Art of Mike McMahon. I do love art books, and in the next month or so, everyone will know why. And I'm not going to say anything more than that. But we're not going to see any interiors of this, are we? Is this is it black and white artist edition kind of thing, or?
No, it'll be a little combination of both color and black and white.
Very cool, very cool. And I love Mike's art. I've commissioned something from Mike. I keep bugging him saying, hey, just letting you know, I still remember it. Mike, no pressure. Honest to God, really take your time. The whole point of the commission was not to get the art in the first place. It was for another reason, and you know what it was, and that's cool. And I hope that all worked out. The U.S. Assassin trading card set, though, this is something new. I did not scroll down all the way earlier looking at the campaign. This is neat.
Yeah. So I love one of the cool things I think over the last 6 or 7 years since I've been crowdfunding, we started doing trading cards as stretch goals, and it just brought a lot of nostalgia for me, collecting the comic cards in the 90s, collecting the G.I. Joe trading cards in the 90s as well. And I decided, instead of just doing them as stretch goals, I want to do a full set. So starting out, I did a set of the team plus Roddy Piper, so 12 cards. But we launched alongside our friend's book, Relentless Tin Soldier 3, Nicholas Gear's book.
Yes, another great story.
Yeah, and if you back both books, you'll get 2 bonus cards, a subset to this U.S. Assassin set called Legendary Heroes. And card 1 will be Relentless Tin Soldier and Captain Battle, and card 2 will be Man of War.
Now, see, this is one of those opportunities where it fits in with this thing. I keep trying to get somebody to do this, where people can collaborate between their campaigns. Where if you backed them both, you'd get one card and the other card, and that would make like a puzzle. There'd be 2 pieces of the card. I still want somebody to work as a team of 9 different campaigns with one big.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You remember the danger room scenes that you would get with the X-Men Flair cards? Yeah, just 9 different characters, and then say, hey, this is our card. By the way, if you want the other 8 and complete the set, check out these campaigns. And suddenly you got 8 campaigns directing their readers to you while you're directing yours to them. I think that could have a massive impact. But
I like it, RJ. You're an ideas guy. I like it.
Well, if I can't do it, I can tell other people to do it. The drawback is that it's crowdfunding with creators. It's a lot like herding cats.
Yes.
So you end up with like 9 people saying, yes, let's do it. And 5 people actually fulfill, and 4 people don't fund, and 1 person just flakes.
Well, I mean, look at Image United, when 5 creators tried to come together to create one book.
Yes. Oh, that was a cluster.
I worked on that book. I scripted the backup story to issue 2. So I was so happy when issue 2 made it.
Yes.
It got published.
Thank God it came out, right?
Yeah.
Now this is the Super Joe cover that you were talking about, and for those not familiar with Power Comics Group, Austin Huff has a series out on crowdfunding called The Masters, which is basically 1990s DC heroes, but replaced with existing public domain figures because DC didn't want the story, and it's drawn by all your favorite 90s DC and Silver Age artists. Pat Broderick is in there. I forget who else is in there, but when you see the names, you know the names. Like, oh, sadly, the first thing I thought was, oh, they're still around. That's a bit morbid, but yeah, they're still around, still drawing comics. Appreciate that. Wayne and I are on the phone every other day, and I'm throwing ideas at him, making him make books that he has no idea that he's making. Chris has the question: how many pages are in the art book? It is a hardcover, so we know it's got to be at least 18 pages, or it won't hold.
Yeah, it's going to be 48 pages.
There we go. Much bigger than 18. Perfect. So there you go, Christopher. Get that art book. So who are we looking at here on the Super Joe cover? Because he's playing with the toys. I love it when the villain's playing with toys of the heroes. It takes me. I go all the way back to Kanjar Row playing chess with the Justice League figures. Okay, it was at that point in my life I wanted a Justice League chess set.
So this was a homage. Well, so in my mind it was a homage to GI Joe 22, where Destro is playing chess with GI Joe figures. But Mark Pengrin in my chat one day said that's actually a homage to Star Wars #7, where Darth Vader is playing chess with Luke Skywalker and the other characters. And my mind was blown. I was like, oh, now that you say that, I actually vaguely remember that. And but yeah, so the main character, the green guy playing or knocking over the chess pieces, that is Darklon from the series. He's the villain for the Super Joes. And then we got Bazooka Dog and US Assassin mixed in with the Super Joe team. And Mike actually used the action figure prototypes as his models for US Assassin and Bazooka Dog.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I see there's also a little coffin, flag draped coffin there. That's not too dark.
So homaging the GI Joe cover, they had that as well.
Okay. It's weird when you homage something that is actually homaging something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I think New Mutants 87 is probably the grandpappy of all homage covers, because that's the the first, although it's not, appearance of Cable in comics.
Yeah, speaking of that, I recently commissioned a painting of the mercenary Flip Gordon, and it's him like rising out of the water, where the water comes right up to his nose. And the artist, I saw the artist do a painting of the Punisher that way, and I was like, oh, I'd love to get your Apocalypse Now homage. And he goes, oh, I thought that was a Punisher homage that he had done. He had homaged another Punisher cover. I was like, oh, this was originally done in Apocalypse Now.
So people have no idea sometimes what the original source material is. I'm loving this cover here of Slither, and what it's making me think of. I can't see the whole thing on one screen, so I'm sorry I jumped it up and down on everybody there. I've seen other covers do this recently, and you might have even done it yourself, where the cover looks like an action figure card with the actual bubble pack on it and the action figure sitting in it.
So this artwork is for our collector's case, and that case comes with both covers to Volume 4, the hardcover art book, War Stories, the Super Joe cover, the trading card set, and a sketch by Mike. So this is our third collector's case, and every collector's case has different artwork in that style. So we've done US Assassin and Bazooka Dog. We did the Mercenary for the second collector's case, and now Slither. So there's people who collect all the collector's cases.
Yeah. Now, so when you say collector's case, you're like talking about like a slip case or
so it'd be like the so we get them from BCW, the Star Folios, but you can slide your own artwork into it and customize it. So that's what we do. Okay. So it has a nice magnetic closure, and your books fit in there perfectly.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. You could always go back and redo them, and in such a fashion that the spines make
make an image. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
The three spines together.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know to do that on Volume 1 because you have no idea how far out this is going to go, right?
Right.
Or when it's going to end. You can really only do that when something ends. You're like, okay, now let's reissue it all and make more money off the existing artwork. You still have, by the way, speaking of the old books, first prints still available of these US Assassin books.
Yeah, all 3 volumes still available for people that don't want the reprints or the collected editions. We still have the first prints available. But speaking of so I did the manga size, and I know that some people aren't fans of that, but we also have regular size collected editions. The first collected edition collects volumes 1 and 2, and then the U.S. Assassin versus Graveyard Shift. It's called the Ultimate Edition because that collects Volume 3 and the Mercenary one shot.
There's nothing wrong with manga-sized books, folks. I mean, we print them in both paperback and pocketbook size. So Mark is on the cutting edge with us here when it comes to publishing comics in new format sizes.
Yeah, the great thing about that, the manga size collection, if you're new to U.S. Assassin, you can get U.S. Assassin War Stories, 180 pages, and Volume 4. They're $25 each, so $50 for over 240 pages. But if you have the coupon code, which I'm going to give you right now, 10 off, you can get over 240 pages for $40.
Is that TENOFF or 10OFF?
That's TENOFF, one word.
There you go, folks. So if you go to Fund My Comic right now and you enter that in the coupon code, claim your discount, get it cheaper.
And that code works for every tier $50 or more.
Okay, good to know. So don't try to get $250 off a $25 tier, folks. You're getting $5 off minimum $5 off because you can pick a higher tier. And really the manga size is the default floppy size in the modern generation's mind now. That's what they gravitate towards is these manga digest books. So, you see the bigger floppies are like, that's not what I buy anymore. I buy these things at the bookstore. The whole shelf full of them. You're doing Slam Buddies. I am so happy right now.
Yeah, so I introduced doing Slam Buddies a few campaigns back, actually on my Black Owl campaign. And I've done them, for almost each campaign afterwards. So now I have a nice little collection offering the Dogs of War. We got U.S. Assassin, Sea Dog, Bazooka Dog, and Bazooka Dog's in scale. So he's half the size of U.S. Assassin and Sea Dog. So he's also at a cheaper price.
Okay. I mean, this could only be better if you had like the little the battery powered sound disc inside each one. So when you land on it, and it went, oof. Ugh. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
Used to wrestle with the buddies, and they would yell at you or groan in pain.
Talk trash and
Yes, you call that a hit? And of course, no campaign is complete without a 6 a.m. comics, a USS magnet or chibi of some sort.
Yeah,
you're going for the magnet.
Preference. Yeah, I'm a magnet guy. So my refrigerator has a small 6 a.m. comics collection.
Yeah, mine is growing too. I used to be a sticker guy because I'm like, oh, stickers are great. And I put them all over the back of my laptop until it was just like covered over. And then my laptop died and I'm like, can't use my laptop anymore. Do I keep it because of all the stickers? Of course not. You got to throw it out. So like, you know what I don't throw out? Magnets. Refrigerator dies, I just peel them all off and put them on the new refrigerator.
Yeah.
So magnets are the new sticker, folks. Whitefire, I agree. OMG, this is a deal. By Grabthar's hammer, what deals these are. No, it's more exciting than that. So what is the... I'm not going to ask a third time if this is the end, because it's not the end. It's the end of this storyline. It's the end of this story arc. But what is the future holding for U.S. Assassin? In terms of story, we know that you've got action figures lined up to go with. We know you've got other toys coming, maybe a video game. Animation deal with Hollywood, surely in the works somewhere, right? If he says yes, I'm going to freak out.
No animation deal yet. So the future of U.S. Assassin, I think, is pretty bright. I feel like they're the centerpiece of my publishing imprint, Haunted Pizza, and I'd love to do the line wise crossover, get all the characters. Like we've seen interaction with Sea Dog, Viking Wolf, and the U.S. Assassin team, but there's other characters out there. There's Ride and Pain, Black Owl. I would love to see a huge crossover that brings all the characters together, but just staying focused on the U.S. Assassin team, I'd love to do some spin-off books with some of the side characters, like the mercenary. We have USSR Assassin in Siberia, Slither, even Bazooka Dog. I'd like to see some all ages, Bazooka Dog comics. But we also, like in the main storyline, we've hinted at an evil organization coming together to rule the world. So that may become the U.S. Assassin team's full-time job, keeping them in check soon.
All right. So what I heard was that Writhe in Pain exists in the same universe as U.S. Assassin.
Yes.
So you're so many people just make another comic book like, yeah, no, they're not connected. Why not?
It's fun. I loved the 90s, especially like when Image Comics formed, when all the founders had their characters interacting with each other. I hated when they stopped interacting. It's lost a lot of the fun to the early books.
And for me, I grew up as a DC kid because I'm like 20 years older than that. So yeah, the fact that how's Superman going to get out of this, and you have the Flash walk in for a panel, says, yeah, okay, thanks for calling, thanks for stepping in, buddy, appreciate the help. How many times did Bruce Wayne dress up as Clark Kent, for crying out loud, so that they could appear in the same place at the same time? It was always an out, because you've got a friend in the comics industry, in your universe, that knows who you are and knows what you do. It does the same thing. I could actually see 30-minute episodes of U.S. Assassin now. I don't know how well it would work on a Saturday morning, since Assassin technically means you do have to kill somebody or you're not good at your job.
I could see a late night fun animated series, a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Now, is it violent to the level of killing people? Because mercs and assassins. Okay.
I mean, when the dog turns into a Gatling gun, people are hitting the floor.
Nice. So Adult Swim it is. We can go there. I bet Adult Swim would really bite on this, because it would give them a chance to stick the knife in the G.I. Joe franchise with some adult cartoons, and have a ready-made franchise ready to go with U.S. Assassin. Call them up. This is something we need to see. And I just hit a brick wall in my head for a second there. So all I'm going to say is, folks, hit the link, go to Fund My Comic. Don't wait for Indiegogo, because he might not go there. You want to get it off of this site. Plus, I think if you buy it through this site, Mark gets to keep more of the money that you're giving him. So don't hesitate. Tell your friends, share the stream out so that they can see what U.S. Assassin is all about, and get the link. So that, tell them, get this comic. So how long has this campaign got to run? I should check a look at it. It's only been 9 days old. You got plenty of time.
Yeah. No, I plan to keep it open until we're ready to fulfill. So you guys have some time. I put October as the fulfillment date, but I think we'll be fulfilling earlier than that. So just keep posted. I like I said, I put no end date in sight. So we'll let it play out. There's going to be a ton of time to back the book. We'll be promoting it for a long time. I have Writhe in Pain arriving at my house any day now. So we're going to be fulfilling that. Chris Graves and I signing comics, and we'll be streaming, promoting a U.S. Assassin while we do it.
All right. Very cool. And, just a quick rundown on the sidebar here. The main cover, the Mike McMahon cover, $25 to get that. You can also get the wraparound cover from Sad Nokon for $25 as well. You can always get them both, and the other stuff. Look at this, $25 for the hardcover, $25 for the manga-sized War Stories anthology. Just get all four of them right here, $100. It's the exact same price, plus you'll save a little bit on shipping, I imagine, since it's one book instead of four.
Yep.
Or one package instead of four. I'm supposed to be in that industry. I should know these things. But do you have like a mega package that will also get people the Super Joe variant and
So
the
the
trading
collector,
cards?
the collector's case, there's only 10 available, but the collector's case has, both covers to volume 4, the Art of Mike McMahon hardcover, the 180-page War Stories collection, the Super Joe variant, and the trading card set, plus a sketch by Mike McMahon. And that's $250.
There you go. Right down there. Four people have taken them already, so there's only 6 left. If you are the hardcore collector, you want all your U.S. Assassin goodies, as well as that Super Joe Unlimited variant. Super Joe is going to be a very, very fun book. Again, Austin is very much rooted in nostalgia of comics and the era that we all kind of look back fondly at. You're going to want to get Super Joe and add that to your collection as well. All right, so Mark, I think that's all I got. Did I miss anything? Is there something that you're like, we got to tell people this, RJ? And I didn't?
No, just remember, guys, the code which RJ put in the chat, 10 off, all tiers, $50 or up. Save yourself $10.
So
maybe buy yourself something additional, since you're saving money.
Hey, look, that collector's case is over $50, folks. So you could get it for $225 if you use the code. I'm not supposed to tell people that, I don't think, but technically it works. So, yeah. All right, Mark, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been a pleasure talking with you about U.S. Assassin and all the other things that you're going to have coming out. Hope to see you again. Would have loved to have had some sales go up, guys. You're making me look bad, but most of you already probably backed anyway. So, folks in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight. We don't have a show without you guys being here, so it's we'd be just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. So we're glad you're here, and we're going to go out with the same way we came in because Mark liked the song so much. We're just going to play it one more time. So thank you all for coming, and good night.
On a ship way off in outer space, there are heroes engaged in a desperate race to the home world and slither through the stars they slog, all to rescue their best friend Bazooka Dog. It's a haunted pizza comic full of action and passion. It's the ultimate tale of U.S. Assassin, the ultimate tale of U.S.